So at HVAC 2.0, we feel the homeowner is and should be the ultimate decider of equipment type and size. It's their money, and ultimately they carry the lion's share of risk of their replacement decisions. We also feel it's our duty to do the best we can in educating homeowners about these risks they're taking when they replace their HVAC. The biggest risk we see is equipment functionality, equipment sizing to load, and equipment sizing to duct capacity. The 6 functions of HVAC really help them understand functionality. The most important equipment features we explain are single stage, 2-stage, variable speed, communicating, variable speed, and reheat, dehumidification. Without an understanding of these things, we don't feel they can make and own an educated decision about their replacement equipment features. And then likely load range, we found educating worst case load is best expressed to the homeowner as range. Again, this is the what our likely load range currently looks like. So the most important equipment features we explain, and then likely load range, educating, and then again, what you don't measure, you're guessing. When performing a load calculation, anything you guess at is best guessed at twice. A high and a low within a range of statistical probability. So if you see a 2,000 square foot house, you want to say, typically what we're seeing with these houses is a load within this range. So if this is a typical 2,000 square foot house, we've seen some that are, 0.5 leakage to air infiltration ratio. Sometimes those are less than 1 ton of load. And we know that this is true because we've got green speeds on these houses, and we're able to see where those green speeds have been running. And then if it's a really leaky house, they might need 3 ton. So, the more you guess on load inputs, the wider the range becomes. The more you measure, the narrower this load range becomes. Some items have a wide impact on load, like leakage, while other items have a small impact on load, like fenestration, for an example. I mean, windows tend to be between 5 and 15% of the building shell enclosure. So a window that has an R value of 1 versus a window that has an R value of 3, it's not going to make a huge difference on load. And then duct capacity. Some items that you can easily measure also have very distinct limiting factors on sizing decision. Possibly the greatest limiting factor is delivered BTU or airflow capacity of the ductwork. You want to make any comment about that, Tanner?
Yeah. Look,
It's an easy thing to measure.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier than doing a blower door.
Oh yeah. And especially if you've already been to the house before, if you've serviced the house before, hopefully you have captured static pressure. And if you have, it's one of those things that it's kind of a no-brainer test to do. Now it can be a little tricky if the system's not working, because then and it's an old system, or there's some factors there. But at the end of the day, it's how much cooling capacity is the ductwork capable of moving, because the system's going to be limited to the ductwork. Because anybody that's a service tech, you've probably heard the term airflow before charge. What does that mean? It means the charge is going to be dictated by the airflow, and both the airflow and the charge is going to dictate how much cooling capacity that system's going to be able to do. And so if the ductwork is constraining it immediately, well, let's say you have 2 tons of ductwork, like in this picture right here. We have a 3-ton system, but we have 2 tons of ductwork. Well, guess what? We can either put a 3-ton on it and get 2 tons of cooling and have a very strenuous 2 tons of cooling, or we can put a 2-ton on it and get 2 tons of cooling, but not be strenuous. So
Right. So
it's
you get 15 years of life out of the equipment instead of 5.
yeah, yeah. And so at the end of the day, like, you're still going to deliver the same amount of capacity, really, because of those limiting factors. It's just okay, well, if with all things being equal, and if we're not changing the ductwork, we're not making, big investments there.
Right.
We're
So
making
you might ask them the question, if they really want a 3-ton, do they want to spend 10 to $20,000 on new ductwork? Or would they rather,
yeah,
or if they were comfortable before, it's likely they were getting 2-ton of delivered capacity through that 2-ton of ductwork. And you could do measure quick and you could do measure quick and true flow, and give them both those reports, which will explain to them exactly how much capacity they were getting. So they'll be like, "Oh, so I had a 3-ton system all along, but it was only delivering 2-ton of I was only getting 2-ton of delivered capacity, and I was comfortable. I guess it's a 2-ton house then."
yeah, yeah. Well, and also, like, if you are using Measure Quick, if you've shown vitals reports to the homeowner, if you utilize that sort of thing, well, you also have to remember, unless you're going to fib and lie on your equipment setup within Measure Quick, when you go take those readings and you're going to have to give the homeowner a report. And so I mean, you need to be upfront beforehand with, hey, if we keep everything as is and we replace with another 3-ton system, don't expect 100% A plus grading on a brand new install when we get done.
Right, and if
You may
somebody
be a
comes
90.
after you and does measure quick, they're gonna make you look like a hack because 'cause you've just sold 3-ton system on a 2-ton ductwork. And so
Yeah,
you're really leaving your rear end exposed if you sell equipment that's too big to the ductwork.
yeah, yes. Like, I mean, that's something that is just, it's not a good idea no matter how you do it. So if it's not a good idea, then it needs to be their idea if they are not willing to listen. If they're
Right.
like, "I don't care, this is exactly what I want," you have to be like, "Okay, well, just so you
A
know, this is a
and
bad
document.
idea, and this is your bad idea. Are
And
you
it's
okay
your
with
bad
signing off?"
idea. We're documenting that this
Yeah,
was your specification, and we advised against it,
yeah,
or advised changing the ductwork.
and set it up in a way of going, if this becomes a problem that you have to address, just know the fix is going to be new ductwork. It could be $20,000, just
Right.
so you know. So that
Uh,
way, again, because you want to, like, preempt you want it to be, they know, uh,
in advance.
yeah, they know in advance what the possibilities are, and they know in advance what those possibilities look like.
Yeah. So, and I mean, even if the equipment doesn't work, you can measure the duct and give them a rough estimate.
Yeah,
And a lot of these guys, they're so familiar with the capacity of ductwork. I don't know how you guys do it, but just by looking at it, you can guess within half a ton or a ton what
Well, if
size
you
that
look
duct
at
is.
300 systems a year, it kind of starts
yeah,
happening. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah.